The largest flare of solar cycle 25 erupted from 3664 as it headed off of the western limb of the sun. It gave us 12 X-class flares. There are no Earth-directed components that are associated with any of these X-class flares. And at the same time, we had an M4. Both erupted at the same exact time. Both produced halo CMEs. 3682 is a newly numbered region with only a 1% chance of even giving us an M-class flare. So this M4.4 was abruptly erupting at the same exact time as that very large X flare. There are also no Earth-directed components that are associated with this M4.5 flare. The largest solar flare from solar cycle 25 has gave us this X8.7, high magnitude, high complexity, although yet again, no Earth-directed components associated with this, send us into a strong R3 radio blackout, which we are still in the midst of. But both flares send us into a Type 2 radio sweep, along with a 10 flare and a Type 4 radio sweep with our X8.7. Right after, we went straight into an S2 solar radiation storm. We have thus died down into an S1, and we are steadily climbing down the ladder from our minor solar radiation storm. This will remain in S1 minor radiation storm levels most of the 15 until it decreases. And this is where we lie right now with our Type 2 and our Type 4 radio sweep. As you can see, our proton levels are very high on the top and the bottom. The absorption will stay there for the next couple of days. And our radio blackout is, of course, over the Americas again and a little bit over Africa. So they can have some technological communication problems associated with this. With our large X.87 flare, we are not receiving any bulk, any glancing blows from the CME. However, Mercury and Mars are being directly hit. We will receive minor implications due to the CME in the southwestern limb, but yet again, the bulk of it is going to hit Mercury and Mars. Our graph has not been updated on region 3664 that gave us that very large X-class flare. However, it did produce 12 X-class flares within the time that it turned onto the sun, which was May 1st. We had a very long time with this region and a lot of activity came from it. We had the largest G5 geomagnetic storm. Here's the 3-day geomagnetic forecast. As you see on the 15th, we will be in those KP4 to KP5 levels, experiencing a minor G1 geomagnetic storm before it dies down here on the 16th, and on the 17th, we could reach into active levels as we have a glancing blow from the filament eruption today. This filament erupted from the northeastern quadrant. It did produce a coronal mass ejection. We will only be getting glancing effects late on the 17th. We had slight elevations in our solar winds reaching around 500 kilometers per second due to a positive polarity and the remnants of the CME effects from the 12th. Our solar winds will return to quiet conditions on the 16th before that possible enhancement on the 17th due to the filament eruption. So we could expect some auroras in the most high latitude areas, mid-range, very small percentage. So if you are in a high latitude area, you may be able to see the auroras again tonight. Yet again, a minor G1 geomagnetic storm, nothing to go crazy about. Here's a look at our sun today. All of these regions, although there's so many of them right now, are in a state of slight decay. Now, we do have some regions that have a very, very small chance of popping off C-class flares, 1% chance up to a 5% chance of an X-class flare from some of these regions, but yet again, nothing to worry about. None of them are Earth-facing with a high percentage of erupting and giving us a very large CME. I don't see that happening. However, these regions can produce highly magnetic and complex areas within itself within 24 hours. So we will always take a look at this and analyze any type of data that is coming from these regions. But today is quiet levels after that M4.4 and the major X8.5 flare from yesterday. As you can see, our C-class flare is at a 99%, which we are getting a couple of them, although this is quiet weather, which we are welcoming right now. And let's take a look at our Schumann. So we are getting spikes here on our Schumann. However, they're only due to the thunderstorm that was over Tomsk, Russia during the same exact time. So this is not measuring the human consciousness level. This is only measuring the energy due to the thunderstorm over that exact location in Tomsk, Russia. When there are actual frequencies that are coming in due to human consciousness, I will let you know. However, do not be swayed by some of these spiritual influencers giving you incorrect misinformation. Just be sure to check the weather channel and the radar before we report on the Schumann spikes giving some misinformation. But here we are in our first quarter moon in Leo. This is going to force us to make some decisions or take some actions today. So with the quarter moon in Leo, we're going to get a lot of that Leo energy where we come to the realization that things cannot, and I repeat, cannot remain the same. No matter which way and which path you go, it is always going to be the same outcome. If you don't listen this time, it's going to be worse next time. Later, the moon is going to go void as we peak in our lunar cycle, and Mercury is going to shift into this Taurus energy. So what that means is it's going to mess with your head. You could be experiencing some periods of incoherence today. Our moon is going to shift into Virgo energy later today, which means we're going to be hyper-focused on identifying issues that we can either fix, heal, or repair. So wow, this has been an intense week of solar energy. This is bringing a roller coaster of emotions, enhanced intuition, restlessness, anxiety, fatigue. It can be very overwhelming and very draining. But remember, this is elevating human consciousness and it is enhancing our manifestation skills. This X 8.7 flare gives us some heightened sensitivity, our emotions, and physical symptoms. Now is the time to release the past. You need to trust the universe on what your path is going to unfold right in front of you. Now is the time to practice our self-care, to ground and to rest, because this solar energy is bringing a roller coaster of emotions. It is giving you that restlessness, that anxiety, that fatigue, yet again, overwhelming and draining. So make sure you're taking care of yourself today. Love ya!